Hello and welcome to TV Unleashed, episode 5. It's Sammi and Mandi back again for the last episode of 2017. I don't know where the hell this year went, but it's over. It's over in 2 days. I can't believe it.
That's my
And
happiness.
you're all excited.
I don't have to actually say anything to show that I'm like so excited for this year because I'm so happy for it to be over and done with. It's been a crazy year. I had like a really good ending, but man, this year sucked.
I know. What the F? I mean, I have to watch my language on this show, but it was the biggest WTF year ever.
I can't even handle it. But on the bright side of things, let's take a moment to congratulate Sammi on the fact that she is now the sole owner of TV Grapevine.
Yay!
Yay! That's like a huge accomplishment. So I'm super proud of her, and I'm gonna be like at her doorstep every 5 minutes, being like, "Hey Sammi, hey Sammi, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna let me 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 do?"
Yeah, you're my right-hand woman in all of this, and we are going to be connecting TV Unleashed and B Movie Bros to TV Grapevine. So it's going to have a brother and a sister site. So you'll get to hear more from us on TV Unleashed, our TV Grapevine writing stuff, and B Movie Bros, which is the inspiration for this show, and run by my brother and one of my pseudo brothers, who's one of my brother's best friends. So it's a whole big conglomeration, collaboration going on here.
It's super exciting, and I'm excited because Mandy's Musings, which was actually just my internship for grad school, has now become an official column where I get to be a snarky brat whenever I want to. So you guys can check out my first column about Amanda Bynes, which went up last night. I made a grammatical error. I'm sorry. I'm not a dumbass. I just spelled something wrong. So, anyways, you guys can check that out because I love snark. Sammy loves snark. Who doesn't love a little bit of snark? But I have to actually be snarky right now. I've been holding this in all week, and now it's finally my time. So, Countess Luann de Lesseps from Real Housewives of New York was arrested. Was it like Christmas Day or like the day before Christmas? But like Christmas came early. So she like got really drunk, and she more details evolved from this whole story, but she broke into a hotel room with some guy, an unknown man, and it was like the wrong hotel room, and then she locked herself in a bathroom, and then when the cops came, she tried to beat up a cop, and she slammed the door in the cop's face, and she was like, I'm gonna sorry, I'm gonna effing kill you, and like, she was like really abrasive, and like the cop car and stuff, and they have like her mugshot, and she does not look like a countess. And so after she was arrested, she was released and stuff, and she was like, I blame it all on my divorce from Tom. And it was really hard because it was my first time being back in Palm Beach since our wedding. Now keep in mind, Luann married Tom after knowing him for like she got engaged to him after knowing him for 6 weeks. He was boinking her best friend Sonia, as she calls her, but it was Sonia. He went on dates with her best friend Ramona. He was cheating on her when they first got engaged, and Bethany warned her. Everybody warned her that this guy was a, and she did not listen to any warnings. And it's so funny because the Scuzz bucket just tried to call me, and I had to hit decline. So it's all very cyclical in our lives. So she knew that he was just a psycho and not a good guy. But she was determined to marry him because she had to be married. And now she's lost her mind. She's like, I'm going to blame my poor behavior on my divorce. And now she's in rehab.
Wow. Dun dun dun. But yeah, seriously, I mean, I get it. People warn you and you're in love and you don't want to listen. I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. But come on, Luann, what the hell was going on with you? And to beat up a cop? What? What?
And
I
like
don't
tell
care.
them you're going to kill them. Like, are you insane? Like, if one of my friends said to me, oh, by the way, like, I was just sleeping with your fiance while you were dating him, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to be engaged to this guy anymore because that's gross. And then if I were to see pictures of my fiance cheating on me right before my engagement party, he would be castrated and no longer my fiance. So I do not understand why she's like suddenly. All I have to say is I take no sympathy. You reap what you sow, and she knew what she was getting into from the beginning, so she's going to try to play the poor divorcee card on me. It's not working, Luann. It's just not working. Thank you very much. I'm done now. But, oh, it was just so delicious.
I know we've been following this all week, and it's just been like one big. Well, that first of all, the Real Housewives of Everywhere is a huge soap opera, but seeing it play out in the news is just as sweet. And I guess we know what the next big storyline next season's going to be.
They said it's still going to be on. Like they said, even though they weren't there when the arrest happened, they're still going to talk about it for season 10. So they're probably going to do those things where it's going to say, on the night of December, da 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 da, Luann was in Palm Beach, and this is what happened. And maybe they'll do a reenactment, like on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes, we could be the reenactment actresses for it.
We could. Oh my gosh, you
Yes.
could be Luann, and then like I could be like one of the people. I could be the officer that you beat up.
Yes, let's make this happen. If anyone's watching, we want to be the reenactment actresses for Real Housewives of New York.
Bravo! Look at us. Oh my god.
I mean, I'm sure I could pass for Luann. I mean, I'm a 4'10" and, tiny, but I'm sure I could pass for Luann.
And she's like 6'10" and looks like a man, but still.
Gee, thanks.
Speaking
of, I could be the Victoria thing. I could be a woman dressed as a man pretending to be a woman.
It doesn't matter. But speaking of controversial issues, it brings us to our Golden Girls episode for the evening.
Isn't it romantic? The one where Dorothy's friend Jean from college comes to visit, and this is in the 80s, and the topic of homosexuality is not very well spoken about much. And it's one of the first where someone has a lesbian friend, and
because they killed off Coco the cook.
Yes, but actually I think this is the first time we really saw a lesbian character on TV that I remember of during that time, up until Friends came on a few years later. But anyway, Jean visits and she falls in love with our girl Rose.
Yeah, they bond over the fact that they grew up on like farms, and nobody knows that Jean's a lesbian except for obviously Dorothy and her mother. So nobody knows about this, and they all think that Jean's mourning the loss of her husband, Pat, or her long-term partner, Pat, which is actually a woman, which is why she comes to visit Dorothy in the first place, because she needs to get away. She comes to Miami, and nobody has any idea. And one morning she's talking to Rose, and oh, you grew up on a dairy farm. I grew up on a dairy farm. Things how people, become friends. And through all the commonalities, Jean starts to realize, like, hey, this Rose is something special. But she confesses her feelings to Dorothy. And when she confesses her feelings to Dorothy, Dorothy has to, of course, tell her mother, because, I mean, come on, that's like the first thing you do when you're a girl. You go gossip to your mom, and you're like, Mom, guess what? And, of course, Sophia goes into a laughing fit because she's like, she's in love with Little Miss Muffet.
And then Blanche walks in, wanting to know what's going on, and then they tell her, well, for starters, Jean is a lesbian, and Blanche gets really confused and goes, well, why is that so funny? Isn't Danny Thomas one?
And my problem with this is that I ask you, why are they talking about the Wendy's guy?
And that's Dave Thomas, which is an easy thing to get confused.
Dave Thomas, Danny Thomas, I don't know the difference between the two of them. One of them's a lesbian, one of them's not.
Actually, he's Lebanese, honey, and that's why Blanche gets confused, because she thought Jean was Lebanese, not a lesbian, and she's like, and then when she realizes, when Dorothy says, not Lebanese, Blanche, lesbian, and Blanche is there like, lesbian.
Oh, lesbian.
And then she's like, is that one another woman? And like, Dorothy's like, yeah, we already know what it is. The point is, Jean is one, and it gets into this whole thing where Blanche is trying to wrap it through her mind.
And then she's upset because the fact that not only does Jean not like men, but if Jean's going to pick a woman, it's not going to be Blanche. Like, how could Jean be a lesbian and not like Blanche?
Yeah, she has like this whole huge tantrum, and she's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean, Dorothy? Who would you choose?" And Dorothy's like,
Sophia thinks that Dorothy's a lesbian. She thinks that she's like, when Dorothy goes to tell her mother that Rose is like the object of Jean's affection, she actually thinks that Dorothy is going to come out and be like, "By the way, Ma, well, I'm gay." But she actually thinks that also that it might be Dorothy's brother Phil, who we later find out is a transsexual and not really a cross-dresser. He has an alternative lifestyle, which is pretty awesome, I think, because his name is Phil and he wears dresses.
yeah, and the thing is, and then Sophia tells Dorothy, "I know you don't get a lot of dates, but just stick with what you know. Getting into something new at this point in your life is not a good thing." Which I don't know if that's very good advice. Just let her be herself, whether or not what she wants to do. Just let her be herself.
I mean, if I had dated Stan for 38 years, I probably would have been a lesbian too.
I would have just sworn off everybody, men, women, anyone. I just would have just become
Lebanese.
Yeah, sure, why not? Or I would just be by myself or become a hermit because Stan, really, 38 years, I couldn't do anyone after that.
Gross.
Yeah,
Stan, can I be podcast?
That's a different episode, but that always cracks me up.
I had to do it. Okay, so now we know, but Rose still doesn't know. So Rose is kind of in the dark, which I feel kind of bad about because she's already dumb as it is, and now it's like now there's like a woman crush, and it's like, well, what do you know about this? So they're still hanging out. They stay up really late one night, and this is the episode where Sophia goes and rents 30 movies and then gets a cold because she goes to get them in the rain.
Yes, and Dorothy yells at everyone because every time she sneezes, someone says "bless you," and Dorothy's like, "Don't bless her. It's our own fault for wanting to watch porn." Which,
hey, you can't blame an 80-year-old woman for wanting to watch porn.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's also the episode where to make Jean feel better when she first arrives. Rose makes her those little Friendly's clown sundaes.
Hey, I love those what were they called?
The clown sundaes. I know. I loved them too. I don't remember.
The hell were they called? They were clown something. They were the things. And I loved those things, and I used to get them. Oh my! What were they called?
Have your boyfriend Google this.
He's not even from Connecticut. He's not going to know what this is. Oh, Mr. Conehead! Mr. Conehead!
They were the best things ever.
They were so great. And then if you took off the top, it was filled with syrup and M&M's.
Reese's Pieces.
Or Reese's Pieces. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, they were so good. Oh my God.
Are you having a foodgasm here, girl?
I feel like Jean shouldn't have been a lesbian. She should have been a friendly-gasm lesbian. Friendly's been.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know. Are you looking up
right now? I really want to go to.
I'm asking if you're looking up Mr. Conehead. They're so good. And now that I think about it, they were actually really, really small because they were for like small people. They were for the kids venue. So why were we so excited about them?
Because we were kids when we ate them.
Oh yeah. You haven't grown much. You're 4'10". Shut up.
But I would still eat one. I would go to Friendly's and I would eat one.
You're not even reading about Mr. Conehead. Oh, that is Mr. Conehead. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's Mr. Conehead. Oh, this is so good. Oh, I love it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, guys. Mr. Conehead.
Oh, I really want one now.
I know. Oh, even if you hate clowns, it's got 2 Reese's Pieces and maraschino cherry for the eyes and nose, whipped cream for the hair. That's a Family Guy reference if you don't know Cool Whip. and hot fudge dipped cone for the hat. Wow.
Oh, now I really want one.
Yeah, but now
Also,
we know how to make them.
yeah, all I have is a pint of Chunky Monkey in my freezer.
That means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything because it's not Mr. Conehead.
Oh my god, Mr.
Well, Mandy goes practically licking her boyfriend's phone because of the clown Sunday. Going back to the episode, one of my favorite moments was when Blanche, Dorothy, and Sophia are all in the bedroom together. They're talking about how a man has so much more to offer than a woman. And Dorothy's like, well, yes, Mike so-and-so said this during the third grade election because his campaign slogan was, vote for me and I'll show you my wee-wee.
My wee-wee, yep.
And he won by a landslide.
Now I want to know what happened to that guy. I want to know if he became like a porn star because obviously in third grade his wee wee was pretty nice to win the election. So I hope he did something good with that.
Yes, he probably changed his name to Black Thunder or Donnie Diamond or something, and is working at
what
a
do you
strip club.
think about porn star names in your free time? Black Thunder, Donnie Diamond, like what's going on up here?
Actually, to be fair, these are people I've had to call for work.
How do you know his porn name isn't Mr. Conehead?
Why would his poor name be Mr. Conehead?
You don't say. Anyways, so Sophia gets sick and they have a game night, and so it's decided that Dorothy and Jean are going to share a bed, but everybody gets really tired except for Rose and Jean, obviously. So they stay up playing games. They stay up till 2 a.m. And obviously Jean doesn't want to disrupt Dorothy, so Rose is like, oh, you could just sleep in my bed. So as Jean's getting ready to get into Rose's bed, she's like, I like you very much, Rose. Very, very creepily. And it's very American Horror Story. And
in fact, I'm quite fond of you.
Yeah, exactly, like a clown. Like, I'm quite fond of you. I'm going to eat your face off. And
Never mind, I shouldn't really say that on air.
But it's true, right? And it's like really but like so anyways, at first Rose is like thinking, oh, she's being very nice, and then she realizes like, whoa, this chick's got something for me. And then they go to bed, and the next morning she talks to Dorothy and is like, I know that your friend Jean is gay, and I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. And that's just kind of how the episode.
No, you forgot the whole thing. Where she goes into the. First of all, they don't know where Jean is, and then they think she was up with Sophia, and they're like, Sophia, did you sleep with Jean last night? And Sophia's like, there's a lot of things I want to try before I die, Dorothy, and that's not one of them. Then they realize that Jean and Rose shared a room, and Rose is like, something terrible happened, and Sophia makes some kind of snarky Sophia comment about it. And then that's when they explain things to Rose, and Rose at one point thinks Blanche is gay too. But she's trying to figure out, why did everybody know except me? And then Dorothy goes, well, we didn't even know if you knew what one was. And Rose is like, I could have looked it up. So it showed how
cute.
But
they didn't have Google back then.
There's a dictionary.
Encyclopedia Britannica and look it up?
No, dictionary. Don't you remember those dictionaries, those books where we had to look up words?
I'm not familiar. Webster. Who's Webster? Isn't he that little boy who was adopted by the family?
Well, that's a Webster, but not the Webster. There was a whole thing called the dictionary. And I remember when I was in third grade, if you got in trouble, you had to write a page of dictionary words.
Your school sucked.
Yeah, luckily I never had to do it, but I've known people who had to do it. You had to write a whole page of dictionary. And it wasn't like one of those little pages where it was like a half a page. It was like this long ass page of dictionaries that we had dictionary words you had to write.
I've heard of people who actually read the dictionary from cover to cover. And I want those people to know it is not a book. It is an educational resource.
It's like people reading the thesaurus for fun.
I I have a synonym for those people.
And what would that be?
It rhymes with mass holes.
I don't care how bored I am or how long I've been without a man. I will never go resort to that.
There are many things that I will do in this world. Reading a thesaurus is not one of them.
Neither is reading the dictionary, even though it probably would have helped me improve my SAT scores.
We were just talking about that. I really hope that my kids never, like, I don't have kids right now. I have cats and they can't take the SATs because they don't have thumbs. But, like, I'm really hoping that, like, by the time I have kids, they don't have to take the SATs because those things are horrible.
It was. I mean, I won't reveal my score on air, but I did horribly on it. Luckily, I got into my first choice college, but I have test anxiety. So many people have test anxiety. It's like, how is this one test going to determine the rest of your life?
I don't have test anxiety. I don't know what this crap is because I didn't learn it yet, anxiety. So that's kind of where I stood with my SATs.
I took one of those classes to improve my score, and I remember the teacher for the math part of it in particular was so condescending. It's like I would ask I'm horrible at math. I'm just gonna put it out there, and I would ask a question and be like, "This is very embarrassing that you don't know it. This is like middle school math," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not."
Yeah, no, trigonometry is not middle school math. And so I used to convince myself that if a school really wanted me, they would get to know me for who I was, not for scores. Now I realize the scores actually mattered. But that's okay because just because I sucked, I had a friend. Ooh, I had a friend and she was really dumb and she did really good on her SATs. And I always wondered, like, how did this idiot do so good on her damn SATs when I, like, am considerably, I'm a smart person. I'm say I'm smart. I come to find out maybe like 2 years ago, she confesses to me, I think after a couple, you know, um, that she actually cheated on her SATs.
How do you cheat on the SAT?
I believe that she was seeing her SAT tutor and he helped store answers to certain questions. And because, there's only like 3 copies of the test or something, or 4 copies of the test in her TI 83, not the wrapper TI, but like the calculator TI thing in her calculator so she could pass it. She got like 300 points higher than me. And that's like, if you met her, you'd be like, okay, what? Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I didn't. First of all, at first I thought you were going to say she stored it in her tits. I'm like, what is she just going like this the entire time through the test?
No, she used to put her cell phone in there.
Wow.
And then break it out when she wanted to use it as a microphone.
I don't understand. I mean, the whole thing is just, I don't understand. But I hope you're right. I hope by the time we have kids, they have an alternative method to the SATs or the ACTs or any of those tests because it really doesn't determine how smart you are. It just determines one day of your life if you really think about it. I mean, it's just one day, one test. I mean, you could be having a bad day, you could be having an off day, or you could be having a great day and remember everything, or you could just have a complete nervous breakdown during the whole thing and completely freak out.
Or you could be Lebanese.
Or that.
So Jean leaves and Rose and her, and we never hear from Jean again. We never know, like, did Jean find love again? There was never any, but then they bring in a very prominent gay character later on in the show of Blanche's brother, Clayton.
Yes. And again, Blanche really doesn't understand the whole thing about being gay. She's like, I know she's from the South. I know she's, well, as proper as a slut can be, but
she's called a slut proper. Is that right?
She's ironically proper. Yeah, pretty much, but she's just a little naive when it comes to that kind of stuff. And you would think that, she would be a little bit more with it.
Well, no, it was more so that she wanted to check out boys with her. Okay, so she wanted to check out boys with her brother that she couldn't do. Okay, so I get it now. Okay, so with Jean, she was upset because Jean wasn't attracted to her, but she didn't understand how Jean could live without a man. With her brother, she was upset because he was never going to be with a woman again, and she didn't understand that. Yet, all she wanted was to be with men. So, if all she wanted to be was with men, how come she didn't understand that that like her brother would just want to be with men since men are so attractive and hot and sexy and desirable? Rawr.
I don't know. That's something I didn't understand either, but she just didn't seem to whole grasp the entire thing. But in that time, a lot of people didn't. Back then, a lot of people really didn't understand the homosexual lifestyle. It's not as open and accepted as it is now. So
And
it
it's still not even really accepted. People still are very naive to it all because they think, like, I was at work and somebody said, I was like, it's not a choice, right? It's like a biological thing. And they were like, it is. And I was like it was a face palm moment where I wanted to be like, you have to be like kidding me. Like, it's something that a lot of those hardcore people don't understand, that this is something that it's like you were born with brown hair. I was born with green eyes. Some people are born attracted to men. Some people are born attracted to women. Some people are born attracted to both sexes. Some people are born with six fingers. I don't like people are just born differently, and I think that's what makes everybody unique, and that's what makes everybody beautiful. And some people just don't grasp that concept yet. They think that it's a choice. I didn't choose to have green eyes. You didn't choose to be born with dark hair. So with that being said, people have to understand that it's just the way people, as Lady Gaga would say, you are born this way.
exactly. And I think you said that you hit the nail on the head. You said that perfectly. I couldn't have said it better myself. And it's unfortunate that people just can't be accepted for who they are. I mean, just it's none of your business. Just deal with it. Just accept people are different and go along with your day. It's not really going to affect your life.
It's not like us straight people have gotten everything right, anyways. I mean, look at the divorce rate of us. Let's give gay people a chance to fuck it up too.
Sure, exactly. I mean, the marriage. I think the 1 in 2 couples now are divorced.
Like, if we were
Something
really
like
doing a great job, like if there was like no divorce rate, then they could be like, straight people, they've got it right. But we suck at it. We like really suck at it. So take the burden off of me. People, please
yeah,
go have
it's
babies
just
for me.
the whole thing is just let people live and let live. That's my philosophy. Live and let live. I mean, there's nothing else we can say about it. It's just, I'm totally accepting of everybody, and I expect people to accept me
Oh,
for
I'm
who.
not accepting of everybody. Let's be real here. I don't like
Well, you know
everybody.
what I mean. You know what I mean.
You know that right now. I'm not a big fan of certain people, and I'm not going to name names because I'm too classy for that. Class from the Countess, as I've learned from her book. But I am accepting of people's choices, even if they're wrong.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like let people live their lives. I mean, it's not going to affect you, and I accept people for who they are, and I would never want anyone to change or feel uncomfortable or have to feel like they have to change themselves or hide who they are. Just be you.
Unless someone's
Be
hurting you or like really affecting your life or controlling you or making you feel bad about yourself, then love who you want to love. But if somebody, public service announcement from Mandy's Musings, if somebody is controlling you or making you feel bad about yourself or is a bad person to you, you run. You don't walk, you run. You get on that
Amen.
golden road train and you chug away.
Amen. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel too. Just like, no one deserves to be in a relationship like that. We all deserve to love who we want to love and be accepted for who we are. And I think that was pretty much what they were trying to say in both those episodes of the Golden Girls. Love who you want to love, and you'll be accept people for who they are. because in the end of it, as you saw, Jean and Rose ended up being friends again, even though we never see him again, Jean again. But
They probably became pen pals.
that's my theory too. They became pen pals, and
Pen pals were big back in the 80s, so I'm pretty sure they wrote postcards and stuff.
oh, sure, I'm sure of it. But the thing is, Jean was worried that because she was in love with Rose and Rose didn't feel the same way that they couldn't be friends anymore. But Rose told her friendship was enough, and they do have a beautiful moment at the end of the show, and the whole thing was just wonderful. And I think that was some of Betty White's great acting. She was just
Julie
like,
had great acting, and
it
I think
wasn't even really
it
acting.
wasn't even
That's
acting. Like there was
exactly. I think that's the way she would react if she were dealing with that in real life.
because there
That
was
was
an
just
episode
pure
of
Betty
Hot in
White. That
Cleveland.
wasn't even Rose anymore. That was pure Betty.
Remember Hot in Cleveland when she had to play a lesbian to get on the lesbian cruise?
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the episode where we meet Melanie's sister, right?
Yeah, who's a lesbian. So she ended up having to play a gay character in the long run. So it's all very cyclical how these things happen. It's all preparation for what happens in your later career. So it's fun to see the evolution of these actors. It's fun to see the evolution of these characters. I mean, we come in seeing Rose so naive, and now she's embracing somebody totally different. And Blanche is still supposed to be so out of the box, and she still can't grasp certain things. And it's just a whole. It really is the 80s, and it's even now we're still. I feel like it's a perfect episode to end 2017 with, because as Americans right now, we're still struggling to grasp so many of the things that are going on around us and so many of the things that we're dealing with. I mean, we just had a tweet from our president. I use that term loosely again. Um, when he said it was so cold that maybe climate change could come up north. Like, I'm sorry, I must have gone blind with your tweet, because that's just stupid. So and there's also all of these bombings and these explosions and shootings and just all these crises that we're going through right now. We're still struggling to understand why all these things are happening, and we can't understand things. Things are just happening. We just have to deal with everything day by day. We have to love the people who are around us, and we have to make the most of every day, and we have to live our dreams, and we have to go for what we want to, because no day should be wasted, because you never know if there's going to be tomorrow, and you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. We obviously know, okay, we do know what tomorrow is going to bring. It's going to bring another dumb tweet from Donald Trump. However, you never know what the real big picture of tomorrow is going to bring.
Exactly. And we just have to embrace every day. That's why it's called the present.
Yeah, it's not the president. Now, what's your favorite TV moment from 2017? Go, Sammy. Go, Sammy.
Oh God, let's think here. Oh God, there's so many good ones. Oh, any moment on Dancing with the Stars. I can't really pick one. Probably when David Ross danced, because he was just so cute and adorable, and I want to marry him because he's just so adorable. Especially when he did that Magic Mike dance. That was one of my favorite moments.
Oh, you hoe.
Shh. No one has to know that. That's supposed to be a secret.
Oh, you Blanche.
What about you? What was your favorite moment?
Oh, it had to be anything that had to do with Alec Baldwin or Melissa McCarthy on Saturday Night Live playing Donald Trump or Sean Spicer. I mean, they really made this year's presidency, like even Kate McKinnon with her, you know, deadpan impression of Kellyanne Conway, who I'm convinced is like a Trump. Um, they made this year's presidential debacle just freaking hilarious. That was to me the best, and I'm so glad they all won Emmys for their portrayals, because hilarious. Like I can't even. It was top notch.
Yeah, there were so many good moments. I also love the Psych movie. I just want to give a shout out to James again for helping us out, like helping me cover that, because that was amazing.
Yeah, it's
But
fun
there were
to finish grad school, even though it was sad to see that our friend had passed away, but at least they dedicated the movie to him. So
yeah, it was that was a sad moment. Now, what would you say was the worst moment of 2017
The worst moment of
on
2017
TV? Not
on
television, like television.
oh my gosh. The worst moment of TV. Uh, I'm going to have to say, please, people do not hate me for this, was the Pretty Little Liars A reveal. That was, I was a faithful fan for all those years, and it was because of Sherry. She had me cover it for Have You Heard when I started in entertainment journalism, and I would watch it whenever somebody couldn't cover it, and I became addicted and did the big AD reveal. And I remember actually like calling out of work to watch it live, and I was so disappointed and so pissed off. And I was like, I watched the show for 7 years for this. It was like getting a Mr. Conehead and finding out that it really was fake ice cream.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Now, remind everybody who A ended up being.
It ended up being Spencer's identical twin sister from England who was put up for adoption and was actually Alex Drake because they were Mary Drake's twins. And it was just and we're not even really sure if it was her. It could have been Mona because Mona at the end was holding puppet strings too. So it was just bad. It was bad. You hear me? You hear me, Freeform? You did bad. So when you come back with the revival, you better do it right. So I gotta say, what was your worst moment?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm probably gonna get like, torches and pitchforks after me, but anything having to do with the Kardashians, I mean, enough already. Like every time I turned on the TV, Kardashian this, Kardashian that. Who's pregnant, who's not? Black China is suing the family. I mean, is there any other TV family we can follow?
No,
I mean, I'd love to. Can we watch the Chrisleys instead? At least they're entertaining and they're adorable and funny.
no, the religious zealots. They're scary. They freak me out. Sister Wives is coming back next month, so we can keep up with the Browns instead. There's like 100 of them.
Yes, and there's so many, and TLC has so many different families on there that we can follow. I mean, they have the half dozen, they have outdaughtered.
They have like 1,000 kids in every family, so we'll keep up with them. But can we still keep up with Chloe? Because I like Chloe. Chloe's like my favorite Kardashian. I know. I'm so cliche, but like she's my favorite because she's like the one who's probably really not a Kardashian. She's probably really a Simpson.
Years ago, we were covering that. They had like a whole "Who's the Daddy" thing going on.
I know I had to cover it for Have You Heard, and we kind of think she might be O.J. Simpson's daughter, but I'm not saying anything. I'm not there for a DNA test. I often think that my father's the milkman, but that's just my personal perspective.
Yeah, well, at least I'll give it to Chloe. At least she's, doesn't she, I don't know. Chloe's Chloe. You can't help but love her.
I love her. She's honest. So, we've
Yeah,
had our good, we've had our bad. This year, I'm so glad it's over. Hopefully, 2017 will bring or 2008. Oh my God, 2018 will bring better TV. Keep in mind, everybody, that those who are born in Y2K are now going to be 18 years old next year, which makes me 100. 2018 is going to bring the revival of Roseanne, which I am so excited about. You're going to hear about this for like the 2 months leading up to it. So get ready. I have so many theories about what they should have done, what they're going to do, and where they're going with it. And we're going to have more Voice, season 14 of The Voice, with Kelly Clarkson. This is a America's Idol talent people is coming back. Whatever.
American Idol and America's Got Talent, two different shows, sweetheart. And then we have Dancing with the Stars coming as well.
Freaking show.
Athlete show.
Oh, and then Celebrity Big Brother. We have all these shows, all these and then Sister Wives is coming back. No more Hallmark Christmas movies after the first of the year. I'm sure my boyfriend is devastated about this. So we've got a big year coming up, and I'm excited. Closer to January we get, the closer to spring we get, and that always makes me excited. But to everybody out there, this is my New Year's wish for everybody, that everybody stays warm, everybody stays safe, and that everybody stays happy, and that you do all the bad things now for the next 3 days before your resolutions. So like I made a New Year's resolution and I'm going to stick to it, but I don't have to stick to it until January 1st. So for the next like 2.5 days, I'm gonna like abuse the crap out of it.
Yeah, live it up, girl. And everyone has to also stay golden.
What's your New Year's resolution, Sammy?
I probably, I never really make one because I never really keep it. So I think I'm just gonna just keep doing me, keep being me. That's all I can really do.
It's a good one. Keep being you. Keep
And
doing you. She's gonna stay golden.
yeah, that's exactly it. My New Year's resolution is to stay golden. Oh, and before we sign off, did you hear they want to revive Mad About You now too?
Nobody wants to see that.
Exactly. Thank you. I mean, it ended so stupidly. That whole season, last season, was awful. First of all, who the hell named?
Riser's like 100. Helen Hunt has had bad face work. No one wants to see this. Nobody. Nobody. I did not like Will and Grace for one reason. Deborah Messing. Her face was bloated. Her boobs were tiny. She'd gained a little weight around the tummy. Everybody else didn't age, but Deborah did. I am sorry, but it ruined the show. I do not need these things in my life. I do not need a constant reminder that I am getting older. Can you guys just stop? Stop with
Yes.
the revivals unless I ask for them. Nobody asked for a Mad About You revival. I didn't see it on Twitter.
Maybe Donald Trump could tweet about it. But yeah, that was bad of me. But anyway, yes, I don't want to see that either because that last season was awful. And first of all, they named their kid Mabel, and no wonder why in the last episode, Janine Garofalo playing her was kind of like a crazy person. But love Janine Garofalo, so she can do whatever she wants. But yeah, I don't want to see that happen either. I don't want to see anything else being revived because most of these shows, it's like, what can you really do?
Nothing. There's no reason. Like Roseanne, they're reviving it because they had a really crappy last season. So it's kind of like they have to give the fans something back. You know, like they're like, okay, wait, we have to fix what we like messed up. And I'm okay with this. I'm like, this makes sense. There is no reason to keep doing this. I understand the X Files. People still think something's out there or whatever they keep saying. And what is it? The secret's out there. The truth. Oh, the truth. That's it.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get confused because our president doesn't seem to know what that is. So like the truth or something's out there. I understand all of that crap. They can bring back certain shows. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I'd welcome that. I'd welcome a revival of that. I'd like to know where she is now with her and Harvey. I'm okay with these things. I am not okay with shows that I didn't like in the first time.
Yeah, and Fuller House. Did you finally finish season 3 of it?
No, but you told me what happened, and I basically knew what was going to happen. I knew she was going to become a Disney princess.
Of course. Of course. And just so you know, that Stephanie is going to be having her baby, and Kimmy is the surrogate for the baby. And it's curious to see how season 4 goes with that.
I think it's going to go pretty awesome because, DJ ended up with Steve, despite 60% of you thinking that she was going to end up with Matt. No, I knew she was going to end up with Aladdin.
I don't think, honestly, at this point, I don't think she's going to really end up with any of them. I think it's just going to be one of these 90210 with Kelly and Dylan and Brandon, and just is like, screw it, I'm done with all this.
Kelly ended up with Dylan and had his baby, and then he left her.
She didn't have a baby, did she?
In the revival, when she was a school guidance counselor, she had a baby, and she had a baby with Dylan, and he left her.
All right, first of all, that whole revival, I only got through like 5 minutes of it because it was just like the stupidest thing ever, but
you can watch it on Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah, I have really rather not.
It's addicting. It's a really good show.
Yeah. I kind of got sick of 90210 towards like the end of it. I mean, it ran a few seasons too long, in my opinion. I mean, we're going to be recapping it on our show, but I think it went on a little too long.
I understand. Well, everybody, here's to a happy 2000. Say happy 2018, Tabitha. Happy 2018. And yeah, she said it. You just couldn't hear. But have a happy 2018, everybody. We will see you next year. And that is all. And Luann, watch out. Stay in rehab. Don't leave.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next year. Good night, everybody.
Bye.